Awful things that video games force you to do. Kill civilians. Use Septile. Here are 8 awful things that video games force you to do.
Trevor's torture scene. Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's been so long since I played Grand Theft Auto 5 that I literally don't even remember what this was. Why did they take so long to release these games? They didn't release any single-player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5, and it made me upset because I really liked the Ballad of Gay Tony that they did for Grand Theft Auto 4. Wait, it came out in, like, what, 2013? Still no GTA 6 because they make so much money through the online multiplayer. So I'm just ranting about the online multiplayer of Grand Theft Auto 5, so they're just little money grubbers now.
The wonderful guy, In one of his very first scenes, we see him heartily complaining that he's got a bit of someone's brain on his shoe after stamping on their head until they die. He's well, mentally, doing just fine. Then, later on, he tortures someone because of course he does. It's literally set up as some sort of torture porn scenario with a menagerie of implements you can pick up to bludgeon the hapless victim tied to the chair in front of you. While the game does try to make a comment on American politics by noting the information you're getting is useless due to the circumstances, I'd rather not have done that, thank you.
Torture is always good. You get so much good information from it. That's why you should still do it, right, CIA? That's why you still do the torturing,
7.
huh?
Mutilate yourself or abandon your son.
Heavy Rain was such a game. That was like a cultural phenomenon. When this game dropped and it came out, everyone was like, "Shut!"
Yeah, what are you gonna do, rubbish father? You know they're laughing at you, right? The other dads? They huddle around and they call you a shit dad for wankers. Hashtag shit dad for wankers. Huh? Such a rubbish.
That was actually a good
all
joke.
Fingers and thumbs intact. Fingers and thumbs you'll probably use to disappoint your child again. Heavy Rain was full of challenging dilemmas, and while it's easy to distance yourself and think, this will end the game unsatisfyingly if I don't go through with it, choosing to lop off one of your digits to save your son was not for the faint of heart. You even got to choose from the various tools at your disposal, and if you went for the saw, you should be locked up.
Oh, God, saw your own finger off? No, just get a butcher's knife and just like, one lop, get it off. If you use the saw, you have to go through the bone and the tendons. Oh, God, and you have to do every single button press as well as you do it. That's pretty bad. That's really bad.
Throw a baby in an oven.
We always say that there's a baby in the oven. I don't see what the problem with that is. That's just a euphemism for a pregnant lady, isn't it?
Wild Hunt. Hey, that's a disturbing proposition, isn't it? Well, don't worry. The baby...
Oh, the baby's evil.
It was actually a possessed demon baby, Witcher stuff, who doesn't have the same rights as a normal baby. So it...
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a
the
possessed demon.
Quest
so it's okay.
features a being that feasts on the minds of those who feel immense guilt. Now, you can't just pretend you feel guilty about something. It has to be real. And so, for Scarface McWhitehair to lure the thing out, he's asked to throw a baby in a furnace. Worst thing about this is that the game only gives you a small time window to decide, but when all's said and done, it's revealed that the child would have survived anyway, thanks to another door in.
I think when I played this through in my own playthrough, I'm pretty sure I did throw the baby in the oven. Don't judge me! I thought it was the best thing to do for the possessed demon at the time. It was a bit chilly, okay? There's a lot of snow going around and I didn't have much clothes to wrap it up, so I thought it'd be a little bit more warm in there.
Number 5. Sacrifice the human race so you can be happy. The Last of Us. Many of The Last of Us's accolades came from the close of the game, where upon realizing his companion Ellie must be killed in order to extract the tissue for a cure, Joel goes a little kill-happy. After mowing through a ton of Firefly security, who are mostly freedom fighters trying to develop a cure for mankind, you come face-to-face with the surgeons prepping Ellie for her end.
Yeah, this is the ultimate
"Are we the baddies?"
moment in gaming. This is when the villain wins the entire game.
There's then no choice other than turning the game off, as walking up to them sees Joel butcher the main doctor with a scalpel before scooping Ellie up and making for the nearest exit. It's easily one of the most monumental endings of all time, where a now conscious Ellie gets lied to in order to maintain Joel's relative innocence, all for the sake of putting the solution for his own loneliness above the salvation of the human race.
Yeah, there's really no justifying it, Joel. Like, you are straight up the bad guy in this story.
Number 4. Sleep with a prisoner's wife, then kill him.
Nah, it's Kratos. It's God of War. That's like his thing. He fucks everyone, right?
3. Kratos is an absolute dick. The god of dick, if you will. In God of War 3, he's so completely consumed by revenge that it blinds him to everything other than taking down Zeus, a notion that's proven accurate when you find Aphrodite and her husband, Hephaestus.
Hey, fellas, let this be a lesson, okay? There is no one out of your league. Wow, quite the couple.
First, you'll meet up with Aphrodite in all her topless glory. Nice. before sleeping with her in an instant.
Let's take away the part where she cheats on you, though. Let's assume that your significant other is a normal human being that isn't an arsehole and also won't cheat on you. Let's not assume that she's gonna do that if she's really hot.
But it's after this that you have dealings with her husband, Hephaestus, who's in chains and in store for a life of torture thanks to Kratos' actions in the second game. Dick.
Well,
Hephaestus
yeah.
explains that he just wants to see his wife and daughter again, to which Kratos callously casts off any empathy, despite he himself losing a daughter. Dick. Then a boss fight ensues as the craftsman clearly doesn't trust the god of war, and he ends up getting killed because of it, crying as his final breaths leave him. I mean, Jesus.
It's just not a nice thing to do, really. You should... I don't know what's worse, the impaling part or fucking his wife.
What
I
a
really
dick.
can't.
Number 3. Stab your only companion to death. The Walking Dead. Telltale's Walking Dead series is infamous for the horrifying choices you have to make, but for animal lovers, it'll be the first episode of Season 2 that's the most traumatic. Being forced to stab
not
a
a
dog
dog.
to death.
No,
Now,
this is the
whole
worst
thing
one.
is an act of self-preservation and both parties' own survival instincts, with the dog literally going feral at the sight of food. But it's the severity of how the scene goes from a nice relaxing moment of Clem trying to feed her newfound friend to having to grab a blade and fight for her life that makes it so awful.
Yeah,
It'll
the
not
dog
only
started
make you
it.
jump, but sees you mash the buttons with the same ferocity as the on-screen animations. And when it's all over, you'll probably have an overwhelming urge to donate to a dog charity. Number 2.
Okay, it's okay. The dog's not real. The dog's not real. The dog's not real. It's okay. It's fake. It's not real.
Taking part in a terrorist attack. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. Oh, this one was a lot of controversy back in the day when this came out.
Hey, look, it's no Russian again. I bet you're sick of having this one appear in yet another one of our list videos. Well, sorry everyone,
Yeah.
but I shouldn't have to tell you quite how awful it is to take part in a terrorist attack. It deserves to be here.
You just do it because you're like, oh, it's a video game. The video game's telling me to do the terrorism, so I guess I'll just do it, I suppose. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, wait, you really had to do it. The best part about this level is that you don't have to do it. You can literally walk through the entire level and not shoot any innocent people, and you win. Most people was like, fuck it, might as well kill the people.
Morality system or repercussion for taking part in slaughtering the innocent, unarmed civilians, so the story plays out the same and so do the animations around you, ultimately meaning that you're just denying yourself content if you don't shoot. Video games are weird.
I wouldn't really call, like, not mowing down the innocents denying yourself content.
Number 1. Accidentally deploying white phosphorus on innocent people.
Oh, I mean, if it's an accident, then it's just an accident, guys. Come on now.
The Line. To be fair to Spec Ops The Line, we could easily make a list video about all the awful things you do in it, but this is perhaps the most upsetting. As you're trying to work out a way to deal with an entire forecourt of soldiers, your teammates eye a mortar that'll deploy white phosphorus from above.
If you don't know, white phosphorus is really bad. It sticks to your skin and it burns away your flesh. It's basically banned. I think it's a war crime to use white phosphorus.
Are mentioned from your fellow soldiers as to just how inhumane this stuff is, but then you hop into the viewfinder and start using the thermal indicator to find where the enemy patrols are regardless.
And then you're like, oh, we need to drop the funny stuff on the little white dots on the screen so we can win. Here, let's go.
Kill off a few before finding a larger group of icons together, to which your inbuilt, ooh, I can kill loads of them at once reaction triggers in, and you wipe the whole area out. Except, they weren't enemy soldiers. They were hostages, huddling together to stay out of the line of your fire. The game plays on the effect of this massively for its final reveal, and the descent into madness the main character slowly falls into. But it's this reversal of expectation that'll stick with you forever.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's a war crime, everybody, okay? Don't use white phosphorus. That's some pretty bad stuff. That was awful. That was some pretty awful stuff. Let me know what your favorite awful thing to do in a video game is in the comment section below, and subscribe to more patterrz if you haven't already.